I bought this weather stripping to put between the tailgate and the truck when I close it up, but I don't want it there while I'm welding it. I don't want to wreck it and it's going to melt and stuff. So I'm measuring it here and I can see it's about 1/8 of an inch thick. So I'm going to cut some wood shims to represent that space while I'm clamping this all together. Guess what's about 1/8 inch thick? This stuff is so perfect for everything. I needed a spacer to set the hinge out from the body of the truck a little bit, and so instead of making anything, I just cut up a couple more old hinges, and that seemed to do the trick. I did go in and weld them together, but I still need to clean this area up a little bit. I had to add some spacers to some of the angle iron before I could put my tube steel up against it to get everything to line up just right. Paul Jackman gave this inexpensive flux core welder to my friend and podcast partner Phil Pinsky of the Reclaimed Audio podcast. Paul gave it to me to give to Phil as they live 12 hours apart and I'm smack in the middle, but I haven't seen him in person in a while. I've had it for over a year now, and it really came in handy on this project instead of having to drag out my larger welder and the gas can to do this. I tacked all the pieces in place on the truck so I could make sure they fit, with this lesser powered welder, and then once I was sure it was good, I took it off the truck to weld it properly, which you'll see in a minute. My welds are pretty ugly as I'm not really a welder, but they hold. And the remote-controlled winch was installed in an earlier vlog if you want to see about that. This portion of the guitar truck build is sponsored by Carolina Shoe. I used to wear Carolinas back in the 90s. Back then they made combat boots and like motor pool shoes. So fast forward a couple decades and Carolina contacted me about making sponsored videos on this YouTube channel. I said no thanks, because they only made leather shoes and it just didn't seem right for me to promote a leather product on my channel where I'm so outspokenly vegetarian. But then I said, well, if you ever make any non-leather shoes, count me in. That led to me a few months later going to their factory in Pennsylvania and making this actual pair of boots out of some synthetic leather that they went and researched, and they included me in the process, and we made this first prototype pair of what became Sway Carolinas, which then eventually became an actual product that is still for sale at their website. I've been wearing them for years now. This pair, the only reason I switched out of them is because I had another pair thanks to the fact that we are making them now. So thank you very much, Carolina, for your continued support of my work, and also thank you for being the kind of company that listens to people and acts and makes change, because sometimes change doesn't work, but the only way we're going to find out is if we actually try it. And I really appreciate that. Any company that is willing to try something new, and Carolina is. Back to the truck. you're watching this video and you're like, hey, that's cool, but what the heck is going on? Don't worry, I got you covered. I have a whole video series about this truck at youtube.com/TimSway. It's like a vlog as well as some breakout videos like this where I actually show some builds, and it explains the whole thought process behind the truck, what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, and what I plan on doing with it when it's done, if it's ever done. So this stage was just one part of it. You'll see that there's a subsequent video coming up that's showing more of the conclusion of building this stage, so I invite you to check that video out as well. And that's still not the conclusion, because then I still have the steps to do. I want to do some railings, some lights. I have to decorate the outside of it and trim that all up. So it's all going to be there. I'm chronicling the whole story at my channel, so make sure you subscribe and follow along. I hate doing those cheesy subscribe YouTube things, but it's like contractually I have to.